Hey there, I was wanting to make this video for a couple weeks and haven't gotten around to it, but I wanted to share my experience about the LEEP procedure that I had done. I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago. I watched many videos on YouTube, Googled the procedure, read all about it, and even watched the actual procedure videos, which were kind of rough, and I don't really recommend before you have this done if you might be a little squeamish or nervous. And I have a lot of anxiety in general, so going into the LEEP I was pretty scared. So I had gotten the abnormal pap smear, how it starts, and then I got the biopsy was done, and the biopsy hurt. And I actually, I actually yelled "fuck" in the procedure. It's like, sorry. And she says, it's okay, it happens all the time. So anyway, it was painful. So I was pretty disappointed and, broke down a bit whenever my doctor called and said that I had to have the LEEP procedure because I had level 3, I'm trying to remember what they're called, CIN cells. Anyway, level 3 cells. It's not cancer, but it can quickly turn into cancer if it's not taken care of. So luckily I got to have my mom with me because that was awesome. Just to give a run through, also just as a warning, I'm gonna try to be upfront and frank. It might be a little graphic. If you're a guy or if you're squeamish, you may not want to hear about this. So press stop now. Okay, so went into the room, and first thing is, I noticed immediately that there's a table of stuff out. The speculum has a big tube on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd heard there was smoke or something, or that there could be, since it's an electronic or electrical knife. Like there's a LEEP loop that they use to take the piece of your cervix out. So that's the first thing I noticed, so that was a little unnerving. You undress, waist down, all that. Feet in the stirrups, scoot to the edge. So I ask a lot of questions, and with reading a lot and watching a lot of videos, I knew that I had heard that there was the numbing shots had epinephrine in it, and that it could make your heart race and your ears ring and all that. So that was my first question and concern for my doctor, because I was nervous about that. I knew it was going to amp up my anxiety. So first thing my doctor says is, no, we don't have to use the epinephrine. And I'm like, are you sure? And she says, yeah, I wouldn't do it if I didn't, think it was okay. So she's able to do the numbing shots without. First of all, first warning, the speculum is a little bigger, and it was blue. I'm sure it's different everywhere. But there is a hose attached to it, I guess, to suck smoke and whatever else out. Now, I'll be honest, it was, of course, uncomfortable. The shots in the cervix, the first one hurt. Like, of course, it hurt. It sucked. The second one sucked a little less. The third one, I think by the third one, I wasn't really feeling that. She went at this really slow, which was awesome. Like I said, I have an awesome doctor, though, and I think she continued to numb me, which was amazing. I did not feel pain during the procedure. I've heard horror stories about people feeling pain and hurting. Now, it's bizarre, it's uncomfortable, because you're out in the open and got stuff going on. The machine is a little noisy, not too bad. But I felt a lot of pressure. I felt, her going in. Of course, to be perfectly honest, the whole time I was involuntarily just shaking. My knees are shaking. I'm just, because I was just nervous. But so she's continuing the passes. She does 3 passes. She says she's trying to get as much out. For me, she said I think she only had to remove 30% of my cervix. So she goes through, she's getting it. I think she even numbed it in the middle. She did say, though, for one thing, I take aspirin twice a day from with my MS drugs, multiple sclerosis drugs. So, it's raspy. Let's see, where was I? So after all the feeling of it going on, you know, she has to she cauterizes it, which was, I realized, I didn't realize up front that I knew the knife was kind of going to cauterize as it went, but then at the end she cauterizes, she puts the paste in, she has to put more paste in at the end because because without the epinephrine that stops the bleeding, you know, that's what she had to do. So of course I'm worried, I'm just like lightheaded. I heard about people saying that they passed out and their nerves got to them, and I was trying to breathe through it. I was just scared more than anything. I sat up and I did feel like some blood start to come out. So she had me lay back down, stop moving around. Basically, after that, I was able to get up. It wasn't as bad as I thought as far as cramping afterwards. I kind of waddled a little, cramping. And then afterwards, I took it easy for a day or two. I was worried more than anything that, you know, it was going to get bad. But I will give you a warning up front. Like, for the next, God, I think almost a solid 2 weeks, there was either the paste or like flesh, or like, it was like, let's just be honest, it's like a vagina nightmare. That's what I told my mom and my husband. And my husband's like, I'm opting out, I cannot deal with all these details. But yeah, the paste is rough. There was burned pieces of stuff coming out, and then just like random, you know, extra fluid and stuff. And I hate the word discharge. For some reason that word irks me, so we'll just say fluid. So then I went straight on to that time of the month. That time of the month has just cleared up. Here we are, 2 weeks and a few days later, and they say it takes 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and I'm not going to question what's going on up in there, but for now, I think I'm doing all right. And it took them forever to call me. Like, I just now got the phone call that said they think they got it all, but there were some minimal traces or minimal cells in the samples that looked like they could have gone to the edge of the sample. So I have another repeat pap smear in February. But as of now, I was like, yay, my vagina gets a break. So it's a very personal thing to be sharing on a public forum. But I've seen so many videos, and the videos are what helped me feel more comfortable about what was going to go on. And just going through the whole thing. You hear all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to share my experience. Maybe in February after I have another pap smear and I see what I'm up against for then, if there's more cells or if I have to have another stinking LEEP or whatever, then I'll update again. But one more thing she did tell me is that with my MS drugs being an immunosuppressant or an immunomodulator, I have a higher chance of my body not being able to fight off the bad cells that cause, you know, are cancer causing. So she wanted to make sure that she did this LEEP to, you know, to help my body be able to get rid of the cells. So that's another extra added bonus for me, but it may not be for you. Chances are. I'm getting over being sick, but so I just wanted to share my experience. I hope it helps somebody. The nerves, everybody says this and it doesn't help, but the nerves are worse than the actual feeling if your doctor numbs you well enough. So I can't imagine what it would be like to feel that. I know my mom, I was grabbing my mom's hand like the whole time, just because I was, you know, it's a crazy feeling. I'm not going to lie. It's weird, but I got through it, and I was so glad when it was over, and we'll go from there. So thanks for listening if you watched my video, and hopefully it'll ease your mind, or at least to give you another version of the LEEP procedure and everything. So good luck if you have to have one. Feel free to comment to me, and I'll try to write you back if I can. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.